All right, guys, welcome to another edition of Chat with Charlie.
And my co-host is Dr. P.
What's going on, Charlie?
Yeah. Nothing much, guys. What's up?
Breathe, Charlie.
I agree 100%.
Let me just be clear here. He does not agree with everything I say.
Not everything.
Hey, Charlie, it's time for your one-on-one.
I do it for fun.
Fun?
No alligator.
We are in the people business.
Have to have the right person.
The game is not over.
Because I want to beat everybody. I just want to be me. Chat with Charlie and Paulette.
Yay!
It's going to be a good 2-3. I'm going to enjoy it. We may have to cut this out, Mark.
No.
All right, guys, welcome to another edition, our 16th edition of Chat with Charlie and Dr. Paulette Collins.
Yes, sir.
You gotta do it at the end, do it at the beginning. And we have a very, very special guest who is so excited to be here. And that is our Director of Compliance, Vickie Clements. How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here.
Okay.
I don't know if I would say I'm excited. I'm a little nervous.
There's
about
nothing to be
what's
nervous
gonna
about. You're on a
happen
couch.
Yeah.
I'm on a couch.
Therapeutic, yeah.
Yes,
I am.
It's very therapeutic.
So first of all,
Okay.
compliance. Have you always, start us off. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? What makes Vickie tick other than tequila?
Ooh. He said that quick,
so
Vickie. Just
I
knows the couch
have-
is safe.
I know.
It's a safe place.
Safe zone couch. What makes me tick is a whole different ballgame than, compliance, right?
Okay.
So I didn't start out in compliance. Nobody really grows up and wants to be a compliance director because they really don't know what that is. So I started out in education and worked at a school like ours, pretty much from the ground up.
Were you teaching?
I started off as a part-time evening secretary instructor.
Wow.
I know. And then I went to director of education and then to assistant director and then campus president and then sort of built the compliance into that and then found my love of compliance when I started volunteering for ACCSC.
How does one find their love?
Probably the same way one finds their love for marketing.
And admission.
It's just your thing. It's
her
just
thing.
your thing.
Yep, it's her thing.
All
Yeah.
right.
I love the rules. I love the rules and I love the guidelines. And it's not like you have to follow a straight path. You have these these bumpers.
Yeah,
these
guardrails.
guardrails
Yeah.
or, when you go bowling when you're a little kid and you don't hit the gutter, right? Or the gutter rails.
Look at her using some emissions analogies. I like that. I like
Ah,
it.
Vickie.
So my co-hosts always have questions, but I'm gonna ask one just to kick it off. So what does compliance mean? Let me back up a little bit. One of the favorite things that I can't say favorite things. That's a right way to word it. The reason why I absolutely love working with you, and I say this genuinely, is every other compliance I've worked with has always been extremely black and white, right?
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm not saying that's bad, but one thing I've really enjoyed since the very first hour you were here, no, seriously, is you're willing to understand it, to understand the intent of it, to understand the reality of it instead of what is written, not necessarily in black and white, but the guardrails, instead of having them in the gutters. A lot of compliance people have them like right here,
Right.
and it almost stifles business instead of really enhancing a good quality operation that you run. But I will say I love that about you. I really do. But what does compliance mean to you? Like if someone says you're out, you're having a martini, talking to your friends, and they say compliance, what does that mean? What does it mean to you?
If somebody asks me, what do you mean by compliance? I sort of tell people I'm an auditor.
Yeah.
I don't like that because it sort of pegs you into this, black and white
Yeah.
role, and that's really not what it is. So I say it's sort of like an auditor. So I take a look at schools and make sure that they're doing everything right by the Accrediting Commission and everything right by the state Department of Ed and the U.S. Department of Ed so that we can make good schools for students.
Do you protect the students or potential students, or do you protect the school?
We protect the school. We make sure the school protects the students.
Well said.
Yeah.
So protect the school, which in turn protects the students.
Yes, we try to set up parameters so that the school can operate within the guidelines, so that and most of those guidelines are, believe it or not, set up to protect the student.
Yeah,
Good
exactly right.
Good answer.
Perfect.
They
I agree
don't
with that.
sometimes feel that way, but that's really what it's about.
It does feel that way. I mean, it is. I mean, when you're in the trees so much, you always need that different perspective, right?
Yeah.
To see things and understand things a little different. In fact, you edited something for the Philadelphia campus.
Yes.
I loved it. I mean, I can say it,
Right.
but then you put it in words and it was perfect. So it's things like that. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think
Please, my lovely co-host.
Well, thank you. I think the other thing, and I know for a fact, I shouldn't say think, the other thing that I appreciate about you, Vickie, as a compliance is that you don't have a I gotcha mentality. You are
I can if you'd like me to.
No, I don't. We don't want that. We just say that we don't want that.
We do not want that.
No. You take the approach that I'm coming to the campus is to help you. If I find something, we're going to figure out why it's there and we're going to work through it. You don't say, you're out of compliance. I don't know how you're going to get through this audit. And you guys are you're just out there. I don't know what you're going to do. You haven't been doing these things. And you always take the most positive approach. And that helps the campuses learn more. It helps them feel freer to ask questions, to reach out to your department because they don't feel as though they're going to get scolded for doing something that they thought was compliance when it was 2 years ago and they didn't look at the new thing. Yeah.
Or they're mechanical. Like one thing I've noticed is our team, since you've been here, usually compliance will scare them into doing things or not doing things, and then their natural self can't come out.
Yeah.
But what we've done since you've been here is the human can still come out because you're okay. You know, just do things honest, ethical. Don't put the company in danger, and you'll always be fine. Right. That type of mentality. But you've seen it, admissions reps, when they get too compliant heavy in meetings and stuff, they end up being so mechanical and not personable. Right. So,
well, I think it's because that's where I grew up, right? I was never just the school director. I was the school director and the compliance director. We didn't have a separate department. It was all
in one.
Every single thing I did, I had to wear both hats.
Yeah.
So it's hard to take, sometimes for me, it's hard to take the campus director hat off and realize that, you know, I got to stay in my lane a little bit and I'm not running schools. You know, I'm helping people run their own schools, but it does give a whole different perspective when you've been there.
I like that.
Okay. So I wanted, before we go into a couple questions, I wanted you to share something. I found out, I did an ACCSC visit with Vickie last week. It was amazing because I've never done one with her. And
zero findings, right?
Zero findings.
Okay.
Go Chicago. Woo!
And 3 exceptions. Awesome. Right? So I found out something. Vickie, they make jokes about me being a health nut, right? I found out that Vickie, too, is a health nut.
Shut.
And there's something in her past that I would
you
like for
are
her
not
to share with.
God.
No, Vickie, you gotta share it. It's so cool. I would not bring it up if it wasn't. And I wish that I could do it one day. I think I'm too old.
I gotta know.
I'm too old, just FYI.
You're not too old.
Yes,
Stop
I ain't
that.
old
Stop
for
that
this.
nonsense.
Wait till you hear what she says. Vickie, you gotta share it.
So I try to be healthy. I'm not a health nut. You're a health nut. Like she can run.
She's a nut
like,
that's healthy.
She's just super, super healthy. But I just try to eat healthy, right?
I caught that very.
You did. I know.
I was like, wait a minute, what did you say?
But I was in the past. I was a monster when it came to.
Were you a power lifter?
I was an American Gladiator.
Yes.
No, actually, I was on the show. I was a contestant on the show.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about, people. Yes.
You know, Johnny and Mark both whipped out their phones. And I said phones because I'm so astonished. They both whipped out their phones to look. I used to watch that show all the time.
Yes.
Did you, the jousting?
Yep.
And did you get to the end where they pelped you with
Tennis balls?
or whatever, and you're trying to get to the end?
I did not get hit. Actually, it's the other way around. You are shooting them.
Oh,
right?
you're shooting them.
And you have to shoot. So,
I can't remember, yeah.
And
I told you.
actually,
You're a badass.
maybe.
I told
maybe
you.
it was. Maybe they were shooting. Yeah, we did the jousting. We did the rings.
Shut up.
Where I'm trying to get from one side to the other
You
side.
got to outclip this during this show.
Oh, we've definitely got it. Listen, it's there.
That's what I did right there. That's exactly what I did.
So wait a minute.
I know.
This show has turned completely 180.
That's not me. No.
I could not.
But that's what I did. Where
You
they're
gotta
trying
find
to,
that.
Yeah.
You know, there's
And
a
you run from one place
documentary
to
out
another.
right now on the American Gladiators, like on Netflix or something. It talks a story about the stars that do it. Yeah, it talks about their whole life and that whole running show period or whatever.
Well,
it's very popular.
It was a very long time ago. So Paulette asked me for pictures, and I'm like, there was no digital. There's no digital nothing. There's no cameras.
We're gonna find them.
It was before. Like my dad had my dad was in the audience and took pictures of me on the instant camera that you send in. Not even the disposables that has the flash bulb that you plug on the top that has like 12 little buttons.
That is so.
Yeah,
awesome.
It was 90s.
So how did you get? It's not that long ago. How did you get there? Sorry,
That's old school.
I'm
Look, that's
hijacking
technically
now.
old school. Courtney Kai, old school music, 90s, right?
The good music, yeah. The stuff you get in here, not the mumble, blah 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 blah. So how did you, I got it? A to B. So what? So if C is American Gladiators, what was A and B? What were you doing to lead up to that?
I just loved it. I just worked out.
And you're just into
out.
that whole scene.
I did the whole scene, and I didn't. It was way before that stuff was cool.
But it was
right?
violent though too. It was pretty.
It was violent, yeah. So I went to the gym 5 days a week, 3-4 hours a day, powerlifting, heavy stuff, and it was old school YMCA, right? And it wasn't
So
anything
awesome.
fancy.
It's
So
great.
I got my chewing tobacco in, where
Shut up.
Listen, guys.
and then, but somebody said what happened was it was on for a couple years and it was starting to lose interest.
Yeah.
So they took it on the road. So they went to all these cities and took it on the road, and they had tryouts in each city. So I tried out, never having remotely even expected. So they put you through the paces. Can you do this many push-ups or whatever? Then you go to the next, and then can you lift this much? You go to the next, and you go through all of these, tryouts, and then they do an interview, and then they call you back or whatever.
Yeah, because you got to have the personality
you have to have
that
the
matches
personality,
it, right?
Right. And then I
am dumbfounded. Who knows? Are we the only 5 people that know this in this organization?
Yeah. And
not after this airs.
I have one more.
But there's more?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't handle it.
I won.
I'm telling you, listen, I was sitting there going, I cannot wait for Charlie to find out. I can't wait to see your face, your reaction to this.
I'm fine.
You gotta find it. Because they had the jousting. They did like a football where they put the ball, they put a thing in the
and you
middle,
had to go run
and then you would tackle you and
Yeah.
knock the crap out of you, and you had to put the ball in there to get points.
And the wall, we had to climb the wall.
climb the
And then they
wall.
came up after you. Yeah.
Yeah, because American Ninja, I think, kind of a knockoff, but not really.
Yeah,
I guess
American
not.
Ninja seems to be a lot more difficult.
That's more intense.
Yes.
Well, intense for more.
Yeah.
I guess it was strength and agility for Gladiator. Well, I guess there's strength with.
I think the Ninja War is like endurance.
Endurance.
Yeah, something like that. But I know they have the big
Snowboarding.
wall at the end. They have all these obstacle courses.
It's long. It's a lot of endurance.
Like I barely even have any pictures. I've never even seen anything. Look at them.
Oh, they're going to find it. They're the gurus. They're going to find it.
Okay,
Holy
let me think.
Smokes.
They're going to find
If
the
I graduated
publication.
in 1989, I moved to
Hey, I'm an 89.
Altoona. No, college. We're doing college night. So 90.
It was like
13.
13.
92, something like that.
So 90. That was the heart of it, though. Yeah, because I mean,
Cell phones are out then. I had a cell phone.
they were not.
In the 90s, I
Oh,
graduated
your
in
bougie
94.
self had one, but
I think I got my
Yeah,
first
your
pager
big old
in like
brick on the
95.
side.
It was in the
that was in
black
your other
case.
bag.
No.
That was your other bag.
was one of my bags.
What you got in that bag?
It was in that black case. You put it in the car and you plug it in the charger.
Shut up.
It was.
Good grief.
1994, I graduated.
This is going.
I know. What is this today?
I don't know.
Vickie sat on the couch. That's the name of the show. Vickie
I
sat on the
cannot believe we opened with that. Like everything I wanted to talk to you about is gone.
Gone. Sorry.
So wait, so you did that. Was there something after you won?
Yeah,
you
there
just keep
was
going
that was the regional, and then they
Yeah.
were going on to the nationals. So I was supposed to go to the nationals, and I just overdid it and pulled my rotator cuff, pulled my shoulder out, and they said, "Thanks, bye." And that was the end of it.
Did you do anything after that? Not
No.
gladiator wise, but did you stay lifting?
I couldn't, so
Because they're
I
yeah.
started boxing instead.
Listen.
Who are?
Exactly.
See, we had to do
Yeah.
this. We had to do this. Vickie sat on the couch once upon a time, not long ago. Vickie came
Boxing.
Well, I took boxing lessons from this
Of course you did.
this
Keep
little
going.
this person about
Average
he was
height.
about this tall, and I was
Average height.
scared to death of him, and I don't even remember how
I didn't
long.
either. I'm so late.
8-9
today.
months.
What's going on?
Bare knuckles. You put the gloves on.
No bare knuckles. That was,
I had
that was
to
way
ask. I didn't
before
know.
that time.
I didn't know
it
if
was
you were
like
Clint
old school
Eastwooding it
boxing.
and
Nope, old
going
school
in the
boxing.
back of a barn and having a fight for cash or what you're doing.
And it was like I said, it was the 90s, and girls just didn't do that. So I was the only girl, and it went to the point where I took lessons up to the point where he would take the pads off, right?
Yeah.
The pucks with
I got
pads.
you. Yeah.
And when I actually had to hit a person in the face without pad, I couldn't do
You
it.
didn't like that?
I didn't like that.
Really?
I was the
She
only
told
girl.
me that. I was like,
Do you
how did
have a mean streak in you? I mean, if it calls for it, will you snap? No. Damn, I wanted to
I know. I said, Vickie, are you serious? I would have ate that part up.
That's the best part, actually.
I know. I want to get to that part.
We hitting no hands. I'm hitting some face right now.
Yeah, no, I don't.
want
I
to
don't
work
be
up
the,
to.
be the tooth fairy. Let's get some teeth out.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I don't know where we go from here, but this has been a great show so far. Gladiator,
Oh my God.
boxer, director of compliance.
Yes.
So don't mess
Yes.
up.
Oh, now, yeah. These compliance meetings are a whole different story now. Got to look what I write on my emails. I am kind of curt on my emails sometimes, so now I got to be like smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. I love it. Great.
She's
And where are you
amazing.
from originally?
Originally Central Pennsylvania.
Central Pennsylvania.
Western Central.
And you're a boater too. I know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I lived in a little teeny tiny country town, grew up there, moved to Altoona for 15 years at my first school, and then went up to Erie for the last 12 years
Where'd you go
at
to
a different
college?
school, Clarion University.
Clarion University. Okay. Got it.
Clarion University for my undergrad in math, and then
Math?
undergrad in math, and
The
then
geeky gladiator.
Yep. So I taught high school
Hey, be
math for a
careful,
couple
actually.
years.
Right there in between us. So say that one more time. You taught math?
I taught high school math for a couple years. Not my thing.
Was it because of the patience with the kids or just the class structure?
I
and stuff?
was young, right?
Yep.
And so were they.
Yep.
So they didn't have any respect for me. I was,
I get it.
Hippie girl, whatever, long braids, it just didn't. I was very young
I
and
wish I
immature.
knew you. And then where'd you do your grad work?
University of Phoenix,
University. Okay. All right.
MBA.
All right. Rising from the ashes.
Yeah. And then, so you asked me about boating. So we boated on Lake Erie,
Yeah.
which was my favorite. So I prefer a sail on my boat, and my husband prefers giant engines on the back. So the engines always win, but I always find a way to get on.
You gotta find a way to
sailboat
put
somewhere.
the sail, hoist the sail.
Yeah.
Where did you meet your husband at?
Actually, I met him at my
If you say
last
he's a
school.
gladiator, I'm
No,
gonna
no,
walk
no.
out of this place.
No, I met him at the last school that I worked at.
Really?
Yeah, he came in.
He was your assistant CEO?
No, shut up.
Sorry.
We had
Compliance checks.
we had a career fair. We had a career fair, and he was there demonstrating a CNC machine.
Okay.
Really?
And I met him. I was fascinated, and I tell everybody this. I was fascinated with his CNC machine, and he was fascinated with me. So the CNC director set us up on it was a blind date for me because I had no idea,
Yeah.
but he knew who I was coming into it.
So awesome. We got to get to
He
these
is not a
questions, though.
gladiator.
Yeah.
Let's get he's not a
All right.
gladiator.
We got to get back.
All right.
We
Let's
digress.
wind it back. Let's wind it back a little bit.
We
I
digress.
don't know if my heart can take it
In
anymore.
a good way.
No more bombshells. Rest of this meeting.
Oh, good job, Vickie.
That was great.
Good
That
job.
was great.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
So, as the director of compliance, admissions. Let's talk about admissions.
Okay.
I know we look at compliance and and the umbrella. There's every department and what have you considered, but in admissions, what in your opinion is the best way for admissions to prepare for an audit? Specifically, if you're talking to a director of admissions, what's the best way for them to think preparation besides always being ready? Because we always say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, but things happen, and we know DOAs forget to audit, and we know things happen. What's the best way for them to prepare for an audit?
I would give you a very simple answer and say, just always do the right thing.
Okay.
Always do the right thing by the student. Enroll graduates, right? Don't enroll students, enroll people who are going to graduate. And if you have that mentality at all times, you don't have to get ready for an audit. You're just ready. And
Just
that's
do
not
what's
just,
right, and you'll be fine.
do what's right.
I love that attitude.
Yeah, do what's right. Know your P&P, whatever it's in that, we vet that P&P over and over again to make sure everything in there is in compliance. So if you live within your
And there's still a
handbook,
human behind that P&P too.
Right.
yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
put
gotta-
your human touch on what it is in there.
I love that.
It's not so prescriptive that you can't be you,
Right.
as long as you are a good person, right?
No, yeah. You don't have any selfish ulterior motives.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right. Yep. That's a
Students
good
first.
answer.
Put the student first, and admissions will do well in an audit.
So what happens when audits happen and admissions doesn't do well? What are the results of it? What are the main components when they don't do well?
Like what might possibly be missing? A lot of it is paperwork. Because in my experience, admissions people are the worst at paperwork.
We are.
Because they're talkers. They're
People.
They're people, but not paper pushers. So most of the findings that we see in admissions are related to the paperwork, whether the enrollment agreement didn't get signed
Yeah.
on time or a missing
Do
document.
you think they go too fast in your experience watching this? Do you think it's because they go too, I don't think anybody intentionally does anything. I think we got a great crew.
Right.
But I do find my perspective is we just go too fast sometimes and we miss some
Yeah.
things along the way.
Right.
I think so
Yeah.
too. And I think I look at a lot of schools and a lot of papers and a lot of admissions documents, and admissions documentation is one of the biggest findings at ACCSC. But for us, it's one of the lowest because we have so many checks and balances to make sure we get that paperwork right.
Got it. Good.
So admissions, honestly, is like the least of my worries, believe it or not, when it comes to findings. They just do it right.
Good. Very good to hear.
That's good. So when you're getting ready for an audit or a visit, we notify the campus knows we're coming. There's always this anxiety that happens. I mean, no matter how comfortable you try to make a campus, no matter if you say, hey, I assure you did the right thing. I interviewed you, we role played, you should be good. What is that one thing that you could tell anyone in admissions, DOA, rep, assistant DOA, that is probably a misunderstood concept to where they can start to have that moment of confidence, because that's all it is confidence. Like what could they do to say, hey, or if you say, hey, I wish you would do this or think like this, because once their confidence comes out and they start talking, like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
What is that thing that you wish that they would do to ensure that that confidence is there and that all of that other stuff goes away?
I think that depends on the person. Everybody has their strengths. So just remember that this is not our first rodeo. And we've been around a while. We've all had the experience of going through these audits, whether it's a mock audit or a real audit or a virtual audit or whatever it might be. We all have that experience, and whatever you break, we can fix. Because it's not going to break so far because the system is not broken. We are good at the baseline,
Right.
and it's not that bad. It's not that real. We can fix whatever it is that you have,
love that
whatever you
undertone.
see.
Yeah.
It's just perfect.
Yep.
I mean, it really is. And it's how I know that's how we operate.
Yeah.
Just be human about it.
Just be real.
Don't
Just
be
be yourself.
selfish and be yourself, and
Right.
everything usually works out.
Yeah.
We are running out of time. We're gonna part two this though.
We have to part two.
So here's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
We're gonna do a special show 17. Paula and I will be at a C-SPEN convention, which is all the educators and things like that, and we're gonna do one on that. The next week,
Okay.
we're gonna part two this.
Okay.
Is that okay? Because we got too
Good.
caught up in the gladiator. You got us down that rabbit hole. But can I ask one more question, and then you can
Yes.
have I gotta ask this question now.
Okay.
You ever watch baseball or like boxing? They always have walk-in music. You know what I'm talking about?
I know where he's going.
Oh, yeah. Walking music. Yeah.
What would your walk-in music be?
Oh, God. I have no idea.
Come on.
You're putting me on the spot, but I feel like there is a song that needs to be sung when I walk into the room.
One.
Oh yes,
There is.
There is one, and we're gonna. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let you think about that,
and we're gonna open to that song.
and we're gonna
on part
open to
two.
that song.
part
So
two.
Johnny Mark, we've got two things we need
Every
to do
time I
between
go to
here and
campus,
now.
I will be playing that song as I pull up.
I'm serious.
Yes.
I'm serious. We'll edit this still, but this will be part B of this one. But we got to find something from the Gladiators. And the music we're going to start our show with is her walk-in
Vickie
music.
song.
Good? So you got a week to tell us.
All right.
This was very informative. You don't even know this, but just that, I think everybody out there listening to this would appreciate that.
I
And-
appreciate your transparency too. Vickie,
Yeah.
because people see us and they don't know that we have a life outside of here and things we've done in the past, good, bad, or indifferent, that it brought us here. We all serve the same students. We all look forward to doing what we do every day, learning from each other, gleaning from each other's success, and learning from opportunities, helping students. And when they see that, hey, she was Paulette's a power lifter. No, but Vickie's a gladiator. I was like, whoa, no, it's in your DNA.
It was a long time
right?
ago.
It's
You guys might have to get in
amazing.
the ring together. We can pay-per-view this.
Oh my God.
Charlie,
What?
Charlie.
I could be a promo. I can put my hair up like Don King and promo the heck out of this.
But
All
I
right,
appreciate
we
your
gotta.
transparency.
We're gonna edit this up for everybody. You're gonna watch this part, and it'll hopefully tease you up for part B. You've got more questions. I got a couple, but we're gonna part B this, and we're gonna
Okay.
go right into it. But we're gonna have that walk-in music.
Okay.
Thank you, Vickie.
We're gonna have it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so awesome. Thanks, guys. More to come on this. You better listen to this one for sure. Show 16. My lovely co-host, Dr. Paulette Collins. Thank you, Vickie, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Partner, we'll see you guys. I can't wait for the next one.
Listen.